We have got to talk here what we need to do tomorrow. I mean, you can't talk this in Colombo Municipal Council.
Then why go through all these motions of bringing a bill, tabling it and discussing all that? You are limited, as I am limited, to discussing the law
that is why I say you are not limited.
From the beginning of parliamentary system, that has been the convention.
That's why I say you are not limited.
Your favorite style of oratory is cherry picking. You take one little thing from everywhere and then present it. So that is your style, that is up to you. But today, please confine yourself to what we are discussing here.
දකුණු පැත්තෙන් කියන වෙලාවත් සීමා වෙලා තියෙනවා කියලා. ඉතින් මම මේ අවස්ථාවේ ඉතාමත් බැකෑ පැත්ත ඉල්ලන්නේ. Don't think that you are stymied. You are having all the powers that are there to accept with generosity to ensure the lenders are protected to 50 million and go forward, because I believe a 50 million borrower is well beyond the small and medium sector loan. And that guy does not need additional precaution, because I'm telling you one thing, the government's business policy also affects a borrower. Assuming that you start a business today and you bring in a 10% tax that is there. Now that affects his cash flows by 10%. Now that would affect, if by chance that he's a company that is having a lot of competition, then it affects his cash flow. Now that could run into a person, but we are basically in a year or two that he has this problem of parity execution. Now another thing that is there. Now if you give a 5 million loan, there is no issue. If you give a 6 million loan and pay 1 year, there is no issue. At what point do you do it? You pay interest plus capital. Now, is it on a loan that is above 5 million, or is it the principal capital that is left behind? No, it's not clear. It is, that is there in saying interest, excluding interest. But here it does not basically say when you are paying, they first ensure the interest component is paid and the capital is left behind. No, but that is, Minister, you and I talking here, but the banks utilize it. We first take the interest, capital kept last. So then when you, at the end of the day, interest is taken off, the capital component remains.
That is precisely why they are precluded from doing that in this law.
No.
That is why they have brought this law. It is clearly, do you want me to read that again? I don't want to take your time.
No, I don't need. But the problem is that what you and I are basically looking at it from a macro picture is not implemented by a bank officer down there. Let it go into Hansard, because at least one person who goes to court will basically say at least there was MPs on opposition who spoke on behalf of them at that particular moment. So let it be on record at this particular moment. Then the other one that is there going on to the crib. At what point do you send it on to the crib? Now today, you have not ensured that you protect the crib, because crib is a very, very draconian piece of legislation that is there. As soon as you find a banker says that he is not able to respond with the borrower, he goes in the crib. Now, that is not there with some of the state patronage people that are there. But the normal hypolyte that is borrowing is living through the crib. So, Honorable Minister, this is another area that you need to rectify. Because there is no point saying, okay, we protect you from 0 to 5 million on parity execution and put the same fellow back into the crib, which is worse than going to parity execution. Because the little he can resurrect himself by getting another loan from another bank is precluded, is prevented, owing to the fact that his name is there in the crib. So these are the areas that we said, don't bring piecemeal legislation. If you are bringing, ensure that you bring a wholesale approach, that the borrower is protected from this type of thing. That's why I say I went even further. Anybody who borrows more than 500 million, ensure that his banking secrecy act is taken off and you basically name him if he is being a delinquent payer. But otherwise, ensure that we protect these people and give the comfort factor. Because at the end of the day, you are basically living of that innocent person who is not even 5% of the total lending of those bankers. Now, another thing, I'll take a classic example, Kabul, which was having 5.5 million with two banks. What is HNB? One was Bank of Ceylon. Now, this 5 billion was owed to the banks, to the one state bank, one private bank. Then the Board of Investments, through the minister in 2004, decided to give this Kabul to a private sector company. What did he do? He sold it at 1 billion rupees, and the balance 4.5 billion was left in the hands of the government. Now, who is held responsible? Is it the government? Is it the banks? No, the banks are told, you find your own way. The government seized the asset from the person who was having a loan that was there fully covered by their asset that was there, and said, no, I'm sorry, we are taking this asset, we are selling at 1 billion, you take the risk of the 4.5 billion. No, I'm talking HNB and Bank of Ceylon. Kabul's. No, they have not. They have not. They had to have a haircut of almost about 40%. No, government seized that asset. They thought you better get a rupee than not get any rupee. But if they had the asset in their hand, if they had the collateral in their hand...
But why are you worried?
I'm only
the bank is satisfied. So why are you worried?
That's why I say, if you say the opposition must have their say, listen to what we are saying. What I said was, the Bank of Ceylon had 2.5 billion and the HNB had 2.5 billion. They had a fully